a trick to holding their heads is underneath their jaw is a V. There's this little pocket. If you take your two fingers and you put them in that pocket, and you take your hand and you put it over the bridge of the nose, you don't have to clamp to actually maintain control over their head. You can rotate and do all of that stuff by using this bridge right here in their lower jaw, because it's a blade. So if you pull it, it rotates the head. So it's a really good place to hold, and you're not choking and you're away from the ear.
Right.
So if you have your significant other, if you put one hand right here on the base of the shoulder and the other one here, and you're not on a slippery tablecloth, you can really control the puppy and they can't go anywhere while somebody's posting. So it makes it really helpful, and then you can do what you need to. Also, when you're posting, make sure their head is straight up and down, because if you start doing this, you'll notice you'll get done and their ears are going to be posted off to the side, or one they'll be like this. It happens. And then don't be afraid. The first like 5 postings, you're probably going to mess it up. It's not a big deal. If you have to take them down to redo them every few days, like, that's fine. The only reason why it's like bad is if you pinch the tip. So be careful not to do too tight, but if you do it my route, you will never wrap horizontally around the tip, so you won't have to worry about as much. But you don't want to do it too tight, so just keep an eye on the ear and make sure that you don't see swelling or discoloration. But so your puppies have been taped with their ears across their heads, so you're going to get this little fold going on. So it's really important over the next few days, until their edges are completely healed, to massage the ear. And when you do that, you're going to want to take this spot right where that fold is, and you're going to want to put your finger right underneath of it with your thumb and roll the ear over the top of it. And you're going to just gently do this so that you can massage and soften that cartilage without breaking it. So you're going to do that, and then you're also going to then just work your way up the ear. This is important so that you continue stretching that ear, because as they heal, these edges will start to compress on themselves, and so you just want to keep stretching that ear out. And you'll notice the tips kind of curl too, so that'll all kind of help soften this cartilage up, so that when you post them, you don't have any folds and you don't get like odd.
How long did you do this?
Just keep massaging them for the next few days before you start posting, until those are all healed up. You want
So
to
for like 5 days maybe?
yeah, whatever. Each puppy will be a little different. Like hers are pretty good. Probably a few more days and she'll be ready to go. The other thing you want to do is make sure that they stay clean on the inside, and then take Neosporin. And I like using the triple. It's a pain reliever, anti-itch, and antibacterial. So it's got all 3 in it: pain, itch, antibacterial. And you'll use that along the edges and the base. You're just going to massage all of that in after you clean the ear, and that'll also help soften the scarring.
Where do you put that?
Right here along the base, where all that suture line is, and along the edge. I think it actually says scarring on it too, on the Neosporin. But once you put that on, it makes the massaging a little bit easier anyways. So
Around the base.
yeah, so I just clean the ear all up, and then I put a little bit on the base and then along this outer edge, and then massage it. Anywhere where there would have been sutures or scabs, you put it on there and you just massage that ear. And then once they're all healed up, then you can hold off on the Neosporin. It won't be necessary anymore, and then you can just start posting.
She's pretty.
Yep, and then I'll let you finish. Okay, so when you're posting, something that's really important to remember, she's like, screw this stuff, is you want to make sure that your post, when you think of what their ear's going to look like when it's fully up, it's going to look like this. So what's important is this part of the ear is rolled across the post.
Yep.
And then the top, if you see, it's kind of a cone, right? So when you put that post in, it's a cone, and the ear stands because of this cone shape. So when you actually post, you want to make sure that the front edge of that ear is rolled over like it would be if the ear was just neutral. You don't want it like this, and you don't want it like this. It needs to be right like that. So you want to have that perfect cone shape when you post. The other thing when you're posting is the base of that post. You'll see this little lip right here. The bottom of your post should go damn near all the way into that pocket.
With the fuel that it comes with.
Sometimes your backer rod can be a little too thick and you can just taper the bottom of it. The backer rod that you put in there, when you stick it in there, it might be a little too wide.
So right
you can
into the
just
ear
taper.
cavity.
Yeah, so like my finger goes in like about yay far. So look at my finger. When it goes in, see how my fingernail's
To where
gone?
it stops.
So yeah, so you have that whole pocket
like a
that
half
post
inch.
needs to be in there.
Okay.
And
And what
that's,
size backer rod?
they're probably at a 3/8 inch, though these guys have decent pockets and they're a good size. And I have some backer rod that I'll grab and we can see which size works best. But 3/8 or 5/8 is usually the sizes we use.
Yeah, it's a filthy.
And it will change.
What is it?
Backer rod?
Like to back up.
It's that foam insulation that they like put in windows.
Yeah, I'll
Isn't that what it's
I
for?
have some and I'll bring it up here and show you guys.
Would that be like in place of like a tampon? Like
Yes.
what we use?
Yes,
Yeah.
way better.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can still use tampons. The cardboard tampons work fine too. It's up
But it's
to you,
heavier.
whatever you're
Is
comfortable
it?
with. It
Okay.
is heavier, but not by much.
Okay.
Not the
Whatever, I'll
the
use
cardboard
whatever
ones,
you
yeah.
This
And you
is-
don't have to. It's easier to adjust the height on the backer rod and to do what you need to with
And the
it.
foam you can shape like a pencil so
Yeah,
you can get it
yeah,
in
you
there.
can
Oh.
actually taper the bottom of the foam, so it's really helpful for that. The nice thing about the tampons though is you have that cotton base.
Yeah.
That part is really nice, because so when I do my backer rod post, I have to put a little piece of cotton on the bottom.
So it doesn't
Because you
sweat.
you don't want the sweat. You gotta have some cotton along the bottom. But I'll show you how to do that, and I have a video to send you for posting too. But I'll make some posts and I can show you guys how to do that. Okay. So when you have your backer rod, you want to make sure that it's gonna fit that little pocket. So
Do you
I'm
need
gonna
help holding
take,
her?
huh?
Do you need help holding her?
So you want to make sure that it fits in there. It should be snug. You shouldn't see a lot of gapping, but it shouldn't be like a force to get it in. So this is 1/2 inch, so it seems to be a good size for her. When you're measuring, the way that I measure, she can't go anywhere. She should hold her head so that way. I go from this button and I hold the ear up and I want to go a finger above the tip.
Affects the price of everything.
So
Food.
that button, that little pocket area, stretch the ear up, and then wherever that tip is, you add a finger's space.
Buddy of mine is like.
So it's roughly like, I want to say 1/4 to 1/2 inch. You don't ever want the post to be shorter than the ear.
Was the cost of transportation for beef, because they sent them to Kansas City,
Button.
Texas.
And it's okay if
What
it's
did you call the button? That little,
this little, when you're looking at them from the front, this little, where the bottom
Oh,
of the
yeah, yeah.
pocket sits.
Depends if it's gonna go up, down, and then the ear where it went way up.
So you put the bottom of your backer rod right there on the bottom of the button,
Said Suez,
and then you
not hauling it down.
stretch that ear up,
He's just a
and you want to go
rancher,
about a finger
you know,
above
baling wire
the
and
tip of
stuff,
the ear.
you know.
she's pretty.
And then that's where I'm going to cut my post.
So even if you lock in a 3 to 5 year rate, there's.
And then they will both be that long.
That's what he said, they.
If the post is having a hard time, like if you notice your backer rod is like a little wider, so you'll hit a point where they're kind of like between sizes, where they need like a little bit bigger, but like realistically, you don't want to go too big. You can always just take and taper the bottom. So then I'll just taper it, and then that'll fit further down into the base, and you'll
If you
still.
need to buy a bigger one, but it's too big.
Yeah, because you don't, the other thing with the size of the backer rod is when that backer rod is in the ear,
I can't remember.
so you push your backer rod in, your ear can't touch, you don't want your ear edges to touch. So they're gonna get bigger, and then when you go to wrap, the two edges of the ear are gonna touch. So you need to get a bigger backer rod.
Deal, I mean, there's some people that are connected and they get carved out.
And the placement of your backer rod,
And that,
What's bigger than a 1/2 inch? They go 3/4?
5/8 and
Oh,
3,
5/8.
yeah.
Oh, I thought 5/8 is.
So when you put the backer rod in,
You don't want the ears to touch around.
Yeah, you don't want the two sides of the ear to touch. So like when you hold this up, see how her ear's stretched and it creates that cone right around the back of rod. So this is a good size for her. You don't see a bunch of gapping where that cone shape comes from on that ear.
Do you think the boys will need the bigger size?
Maybe, maybe not. It just kind of depends. So also on placement, as you notice that ridge, see how it fits? It's almost like there's a space for it.
Right.
That's where the back rod should go along the length of the ear. So you don't want it any more forward or backwards. You want it to sit right in that space, which is pretty much where the ear is straight up and down. And when you post them, you want to make sure that it's not turned either. Okay. I'll show you how to make the post. I'm going to take my duct tape. I'm going to lay it down. And I'm going to take right at the edge of my backer rod, put it in the middle. So I have the length, make sure it's stretched out nice. You don't want any like gaps or lips.
That's to make it more stiff.
Yep, so what this is gonna do is I'll show you the difference. So I do 2 layers of the duct tape.
You really gotta have some pull, and you gotta have,
And already,
Have laws that are enforced.
yeah.
you see it's a lot stiffer. So this is gonna give that basically the dexterity of keeping it stretched so that when you're taping it, it doesn't fold and bend. That way you get that nice stretch on the ear and it holds its shape. So I do 2 of these. Oops, I did.
So would you still do a sticky side out with the other tape?
Yes.
That time of year, I said, now what is it gonna be? And the lawyers make a ton, and your insurance costs go up. And
So once I do the 2 layers of the tape,
it was,
I'll do the other one. We'll just pretend like we're doing both sides. I'm only gonna build one post.
hydrogen fuel cell.
And then take a cotton square and some of my regular tape. So this is just a fabric tape.
It's been the promised land for years for power, and there's a couple companies.
And I'm gonna just take probably a 2-inch section
Like forklifts and all this stuff, and we had some military contractors.
and split it.
What kind of tape is that?
This is a fabric tape. It's, I'll send you the name of it, but they used to be Zona, but I use Covidian more so now. And then Joel, what else was, do you remember the other one that we used? But I'll give you a list of ones that you can use.
Send me 2.
Yeah. So I split it so you have the 2 strips because you're doing 2 posts. If you get any strings, you cut those off because we don't need that.
You're such a good
The hybrid thing has a lot of
mentor.
So I use cotton squares. You can use rounds, but it's harder to tape them. So I take the quilted side out and I put it halfway.
I need to talk to some
I fold
friends
it over
that actually worked on tractors.
and then I just
that ran on
basically
natural gas to
make
see
sure
if
that
they
it's a little
last
pocket
the same
like that.
because
And then I take my
the thing
tape
with fuel is they can add all these lubricants where the engine will run.
and then I just
for a
want to
long time.
basically make sure that the cotton doesn't fall off your post.
So when you make the tip tapered to be more pointy to go in the ear hole, how do you tape it on there then?
It's the same way. The only difference is this folds tighter.
Okay.
Sometimes the cotton will make it a little too big,
Bulky, yeah.
bulky. So if that's the case, then you might have to taper it. Also, sometimes you can do a little bit less cotton.
Right.
It just kind of depends. Like you don't have to fold it over. The biggest thing, like if you need to, you can take down the sides of it so that it makes it a little bit narrower. Because when you fold it, you're gonna have extra layers
To
here.
stuff
So you
in the
could
ear.
technically cut all of that off. The goal though is to always only have cotton touching the inside of the ear.
Yeah.
You don't want to have the actual duct tape or your regular tape because it creates sweat.
Yeah.
So once I do that, then I will take my tape. I'm gonna use.
Fishy one out. Do you think?
Okay, so when I do my post, this is called back taping. So what I do is I start at the very top, and I'm gonna do one around so that it actually affixes to the post because you don't want your tape to slide down. Once it's around, then I'm going to fold it over the opposite way, and and then wrap it. It's called back taping. So now it's stuck to itself,
They don't ever use it.
and then you just wrap
They're
it.
so that they keep them on for like those 5 peak days of the year.
Then once you get to your
They're not actually.
tape that you already have down here, you're gonna
Keep them up and running
do the
to make
opposite.
sure that they can get the demand hit.
And so now it's stuck to the top and it's stuck to the bottom and it's not going anywhere, but the bulk of your post is sticky. Your post.
The newest rocket he's produced.
I don't have any more stick
how
stuff.
many thousand
There you go.
ton payload it has.
So the
You
next
better know it could
2
take
pieces of tape I'm going to
years of-
portion out. I'm gonna have one that's going to go from one side of the ear up and over the other. So you want it to be about 1.5 the length of your post,
I don't think I'll live that long.
roughly. Once you do this enough times, you'll just stick the tape on there, you'll go over it, and you'll call it done. But if you're prepping your tape,
That's asking
it's
for a
roughly
lot.
1.5 of your
Are you a
posts,
football fan?
roughly.
So this is a new step that
You
you're doing
know, I
now.
like high school football.
Then the next piece of
College,
tape
I
is the one that's
used to
gonna go
like,
around
and
the
now
base of
college
the
is like
ear.
Pro and
Okay,
there,
so that one is
and
about
then when
twice
whole
the length of
kneeling
your
thing
post.
started,
So,
Wait,
and
you are
all that
wrapping
stuff,
this
it's like
one time,
life
okay.
sports.
Yep.
I don't
So the
know
first
about
one was.
so the first one is 1.5,
prima donnas and stuff. So now I don't watch it anymore.
and the second one is twice
About only
the
time
length
I
of your
watch
post.
football is the Super Bowl, and that's,
Yeah.
I'm done with that, so. Oh, well, if I had a big family that did it, it'd be a family event,
Yeah.
which is fun. That's what we used to do. Our relatives would invite us over for a big Super Bowl day. It was really fun.
And the last piece of tape is only the length of post that you have back, that it's back tape. So it's like 3/4.
Oh, what's your team, the Browns?
Yeah, yeah, unfortunately.
3/4.
Roughly,
Born and
yeah.
raised in Cleveland, I've
Doesn't
always
have to
been
be
a
spot
Browns
on.
fan.
But that will be the last piece that
Yeah,
you
they make it
use.
harder and harder.
That's why it's
Nice flight.
one hand here,
Okay.
but don't block my ears. You probably have to use your butt to stop her from smooching backwards. And then the other hand, you're gonna put
You two are
2
wonderful.
fingers in the V
Okay.
We could
and a
do
thumb
lot
over
of
the
books
top. You
together.
don't have to squeeze, but the goal is to stop her head from moving around. I use these 2 because my hands are, you might have the same problem, Joel uses those 2. And then
I
you're
have
going
tiny
to
hands.
turn her head so that, there you go, perfect, okay? So now, when we put the post in, I do the folded edge out. Everybody's different, but it reminds me, because if I have a taper, the folded edge is the outside edge, because you want to put the solid post goes against the ear, and if you're taper, it's going to go to the outside.
Plus, it's more comfortable.
Yeah.
Set you down here,
Yep.
okay?
If you ever need to make your puppy sit, you don't push down on the butt, you go behind the knees, right? Have you ever had somebody knock you out from underneath, off
Yes.
your feet because they hit the back of your knee? The dogs are no different, that's where you wanna do it, okay? So when you put the post in, you're gonna push it straight in and you're gonna go down into the pocket. And then you wanna just twist a little bit so that all that cotton is gone.
Okay.
And then you're gonna walk the post, hold that ear up,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna lay that post right in the middle of that pocket that it creates.
Okay.
Okay, then your first piece of tape was that 1.5 inch piece.
Okay.
I know, sweetie.
It's okay.
If I can get it off the other tape. This one, you're gonna go,
Okay.
Babe, put your fingers in the V.
yeah, this one, you're gonna kind of go on the top of the ear, the length of the ear,
Okay.
up and over. Okay, so this is the one that keeps that ear stretched.
Okay.
Your next one is your twice post length tape.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna start by putting it here at the bottom at a slight angle. So if you see the angle of the tape, she can lay down.
Okay.
Just keep her head still.
Okay.
Okay, so it's slightly angled. You're gonna go around like a teardrop shape. So it reconnects at the bottom, okay? Then you're gonna fold the tape. So I use my thumb here, and everybody can do it different. It doesn't have to be pretty. You're just gonna fold it so you can recreate that teardrop again. And then you fold it back around,
Okay.
and then you hit that spot. So all their ears are gonna be roughly a different length, so you might have a little extra here. That's totally fine. You can just tear it off, okay?
Okay.
The very last piece of tape you're going to use is that 3/4 post length tape. This is what I call my anchor. This is gonna make sure that those folds stay in place that we just did. So we start right here at the bottom, and then it's gonna go up the length of the post, so that now you don't have sticky stuff all the time. Okay,
Okay.
and that's your post.
All right.
Yeah, that looks
Okay,
good.
when you do your bridge, you can do it a couple different ways, but my favorite way to do it is, I know, sweetie, you're such a good girl. Is I take and I measure across the head. So I go from one button to the other button on the other side of the head. Okay, so you're gonna measure that length. I tear it in half. And then I go down, like at this age, it's like 1/3 of the tape. And I split it like that. And then make sure it's centered on the post. Okay, maybe there. And then I split this side,
Okay.
right? And then it would go around that post. And then the part that's on the top of the head, this part here, I just fold this part in half.
Got it.
So now you have your
Nice
bridge,
Yep.
okay?
Got it.
Nice.
You see it, Joe?
We used to do 3 strips of tape.
I will use it, I'll put a little piece that wraps around the bottom of the post and then go up, and that tape is super, super sticky. Because when they get bigger, that post gets bigger, there's more ear, there's more movement, they're doing a lot more. That extra strength tape will help keep everything in place a little longer. I don't ever use really sticky stuff though on their ears, because you can rip ear off. And so when you take the post off, it should be relatively easy because you'll know where all your tape is, especially if you do the same pattern every time. So this should come off easily. And then you just find that little lip that you had.
Okay.
When you take it off of the ear here, I don't just rip it because you're going against the hair. You just pull it in the direction of the ear.
Okay.
Don't eat that. So then you can take it off there. And so see, if I was to just pull, see how it would rip that hair
Yeah.
out? So instead of doing it that way, you're gonna go this way. So
Okay.
you don't pull out as much hair, and baby fuzz is gonna come out.
Go in the direction of the hair.
Yep, you wanna go in the direction of the hair. And then once that's off, you go up, and then you can pop that out. So see how easy it comes out, but they stay pretty well.
Yeah. Good girl.